Samsung may have just avoided making one of the biggest mistakes with the Galaxy S27 lineup, and honestly, I think they dodged a bullet with this one. So back in March, reports started showing up claiming Samsung was considering something pretty unusual for the Galaxy S27 lineup. The company was looking at using OLED panels from BOE for at least some versions of the base Galaxy S27 as part of a dual supplier strategy alongside Samsung Display. The reason had something to do with cost cutting, and when that rumor first came out, I could already think of a lot of ways this could go wrong. Not necessarily because BOE makes bad displays or anything like that, but because the Galaxy S lineup has built a reputation around having some of the best smartphone displays on the market, and once you start mixing suppliers, you open the door to unnecessary controversy online. All it takes is a few users posting side-by-side photos claiming one display looks better than the other. Well, according to a fresh report from ZDNet Korea, Samsung may no longer be going in that direction. Apparently, the company is backing away from the idea of using BOE for the Galaxy S27 and instead keeping display production inside its own ecosystem. Now, interestingly, the report says this isn't because Samsung suddenly lost confidence in BOE's display technology, but instead, Samsung is apparently trying to strengthen its domestic supply chain and keep things more controlled internally. And honestly, if that ends up being true, I think this is probably the right move, because uniformity matters more than people realize. You can have two technically excellent displays, but if one unit looks slightly warmer, another slightly cooler, or brightness behaves a little differently depending on supplier, people notice, especially at flagship prices. Now, to be fair to BOE, they've come a long way. They're one of the biggest display makers in the industry. They've improved massively over the years, and there have even been reports suggesting they could gain access to technologies that strengthen their premium OLED position over time. So this isn't me saying BOE can't make flagship panels. They've been supplying other flagship brands for years. But when we're talking about the Galaxy S lineup, I can understand why Samsung may not want to experiment too much, especially since Samsung Display remains one of the strongest names in premium displays and supplies panels to some of the biggest products in the industry. But to be very honest with you, I was a little worried when I first heard Samsung might bring BOE into the Galaxy S lineup. Again, not because I thought the displays would suddenly become bad, but because cost cutting on the display is probably the last place I'd want Samsung making compromises, and I'm glad they realized that too. With that said, do consider subscribing to the channel for daily Samsung news and updates, and don't forget to turn on post notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.